This happened during my first semester living alone. I was 19, studying engineering in a public university downtown. The apartment was in one of those older buildings, the kind with rusty gates and a manual elevator that creaked like it had bones inside. My unit was on the 6th floor, tiny, cheap, and just far enough from campus to make me feel like an adult. It was the first time in my life I had space to myself. No parents, no roommates, just silence and freedom. Or that's what I thought. The first time I noticed something weird was about 2 weeks after moving in. It was a Tuesday night, around 1 a.m. I had my headphones off for once, trying to force myself to sleep, when I heard it. Footsteps stood above me, not just random creaks. These were slow, deliberate, almost rhythmic, like someone was pacing back and forth. Heavy heels clicking on the wooden floor, back and forth, back and forth. I figured it was just a neighbor who worked late, maybe on night shifts or something. I didn't think much of it, but it kept happening. Every night, around the same time, always the same rhythm, like clockwork. After a while, I got curious and checked the floor plan. Above me was apartment 702. I'd never seen anyone coming or going from it. I knew the lady across from me, Miss Elvira, an old woman who chain-smoked in the hallway and always greeted me with a raspy evening. I knew the guy to the left of me, Paulo, who always carried his laundry with military precision. But 702, not once did I see the door open. Not once did I hear voices. Just footsteps thud at night. Eventually, I asked the doorman about it. He looked up from his little black and white TV and shrugged. Old couple, don't go out much ever? I asked, laughing a bit. He didn't laugh back. They have their routine, he said, scratching his neck. We leave him alone. That could have been the end of it. But then one night, I heard something else. I had just laid down around 1:10 a.m. I remember it because my phone lit up at the time. The pacing had started, as usual, but then I heard a dragging sound, like someone was pulling furniture, or something heavy. It scraped along the ceiling above me, slow and jarring, the kind of sound that vibrates through the walls. Then came a thud, not loud but solid, like something heavy had dropped. Then nothing, no more pacing, no more movement, just dead silence. I stared at my ceiling for what felt like hours. That was the first night I didn't sleep, but my body wasn't buying it. I started sleeping with one earbud in, one out, just in case I heard something again. And I did. 2 nights later, around the same time, maybe 1:25 a.m., I woke up to a new sound, scratching, faint at first, like nails on wood. It was right above my bed, near the corner of the ceiling. At first I thought it was a rat, maybe some animal trapped between floors, but it kept going. A slow, deliberate scraping, then a pause, then again longer, deeper, and then it stopped. I sat up, heart pounding, staring at the corner like something was going to break through it. I grabbed my phone and opened the voice recorder, just in case. But of course, by the time I hit record, it was quiet again. For the next few nights, the scratching came back. Sometimes it was just once, sometimes 3 or 4 times in a row, always around 1 a.m. I tried knocking on the ceiling once, lightly, then harder. Nothing. No reply, no movement, just silence, like whoever or whatever was up there didn't give a damn. A few days later, I saw Miss Elvira outside her door lighting another cigarette. Her fingers were yellow from nicotine, and she had this weird twitch in her left eye, like it blinked twice for every puff she took. "You hear that shit upstairs?" I asked her, trying to sound casual. She didn't look at me, just exhaled and said, "You shouldn't ask about that apartment." "What do you mean?" She tapped her ash into a cracked saucer she used as an ashtray. "They don't like attention. That's all I'll say." I laughed nervously. "Who's they?" She finally looked at me then. Her eyes were glassy, like she hadn't slept in days. You'll find out, or you won't. Either way, keep your head down. And with that, she shut her door. I stood there for a while, staring up at the 7th floor. That night, I dreamed I was inside the apartment above mine, except it didn't look like an apartment. It was just a single long hallway, no windows, no doors. At the end of it, someone was standing with their back to me. I called out, but my voice didn't work. The figure slowly turned in just before I saw the face. I woke up. My mouth was open. My jaw hurt. I realized I'd been grinding my teeth so hard it cracked the inside of my cheek. There was blood on my pillow. My walls felt too close. The air felt thick, like I was breathing in someone else's exhale. I grabbed my hoodie, slipped on sandals, and went down to the front of the building just to get fresh air. It was close to 2 a.m. The street was dead silent, except for the buzzing of a broken street lamp flickering on the corner. I lit a cigarette. I don't even smoke, and just stood there, staring up at the building. And that's when I saw it. The curtain in the 7th floor window moved. Not a breeze, not a random flutter. It was pulled back, just slightly. I narrowed my eyes. That window was directly above mine. Apartment 702. And behind the curtain, I swear to God, someone was watching me. Just the outline of a face. Pale, unmoving. Eyes locked on mine like they'd been waiting for me to come outside. I froze. I wanted to believe it was just a nosy neighbor, but there was something wrong with the way they stood. Too still, like a statue, like they didn't blink, didn't breathe. And then, slowly, the curtain closed again. I went back upstairs way too fast, heart pounding. But instead of going inside my place, I made a detour. I climbed the stairs to the 7th floor. For the first time, it was weirdly quiet up there, like the sound got sucked out of the hallway. No humming from fridges, no TV noise, no pipes, just silence. I walked past 701. Empty. 703 had a for sale sign taped to the door. And then I was in front of 702. The door was different. All the other units had old brass numbers. 702 had no number at all, just a faint mark where one used to be, like it had been ripped off. There was no welcome mat, no peephole. The wood looked greasy, like it had been touched too many times with sweaty hands. I leaned in, half expecting to hear movement, but what I heard was whispering right on the other side. Rapid, low voices. Not one but several, like people praying or arguing. It was hard to tell. The words were too fast, too soft. I stepped back. Every instinct in me screamed to leave. So I did. I turned, rushed back to my floor, slammed my door behind me and locked every bolt I had. That night, I didn't sleep, not because of sounds, but because of the silence. There was nothing, no pacing, no dragging, no scratching. Just complete, unnatural quiet. And somehow, that was worse, because it felt like 702 knew I had been listening. Not in the whole building, just my apartment. It was around 12:50 a.m. I was brushing my teeth when the lights blinked once, twice, and died. The fan stopped spinning. The fridge went quiet. My bathroom mirror became just a rectangle of black. I stood there for a second, toothpaste still in my mouth, waiting to hear something, anything. And then it started again, the pacing above me. But this time, it wasn't the slow, measured kind I was used to. It was faster, erratic, like someone was moving in circles, stumbling, maybe even limping. The footsteps grew heavier, louder, like they were going to break through the ceiling. I spat the toothpaste out, grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and then I heard the door to the stairwell creak. Not mine, the one on my floor. That sound, it echoed weird, off, like it bounced around in ways it shouldn't have. I turned my head slowly toward the hallway. The light under my front door flickered, and then something walked past. I didn't see it, not directly, but the shadow it cast through the gap beneath my door didn't look right. Too thin, too tall, and it moved with this slow, swaying glide, like a marionette being dragged. I held my breath. For some reason, I thought if I moved even an inch it would know. I don't know how long I stood there. Could have been seconds, could have been 10 minutes. Eventually, the shadow passed. Silence again, but my lights didn't come back on. I stayed up, sitting in the kitchen with my back to the wall, flashlight off, too scared to even look at my phone screen. I kept waiting for the pacing above to start again. It never did. Around 5 a.m., the lights flickered back, but something was different. There was dirt on my doormat, not like someone had wiped their shoes. No, it was a footprint. Just one. Long, narrow, facing inward, like someone had stood at my door. Watching. I told myself I was imagining things, that I was sleep deprived, that maybe I tracked the dirt in myself, but I didn't believe that, because that same night, I got a message, not on my phone, slipped under my door. A piece of paper, folded once. No handwriting, just one printed sentence. Stop looking upstairs. Skip classes. Ignored texts. I kept the blinds closed, the lights on, and a kitchen knife by my bed. Yeah, I know how that sounds. But when you find a footprint at your door and get a note telling you to stop asking questions, you either go crazy or you prepare. I think I was doing both. The building felt different after that, like it was breathing with me or against me. Every creak in the floor, every shift in the pipes. I jumped at all of it, but what finally broke me was the smell. It started seeping in from the ceiling. Not gas. Not mold. Meat. Rotten, wet old meat, like something had died and was sweating through the wood. I stood on my bed, pressed my nose to the upper corner, and gagged. The stench was strongest there, thick and oily, and mixed in with something else, a sweet smell, like syrup left out too long. I reported it. Of course I did. I went downstairs and told the doorman. Told him there was a dead rat or something upstairs. He didn't even look at me, just said, "Some things don't get fixed." I snapped, "Are you kidding me? There's something dead up there." He just shook his head. "They've been here longer than you. Keep to your unit." I wanted to yell, but the way he said it, "they've been here," made my mouth dry up. That night, I decided I was done. I texted my friend Lucas, asked if I could crash at his place. He said yes, of course. I started packing a small bag, just essentials: laptop, charger, a change of clothes. I didn't even care about the rest. Around 1 a.m., right as I zipped my backpack shut, my doorbell rang. I froze. It rang again, 3 times. Fast. Sharp. I looked through the peephole. No one there, but I swear I heard breathing. I backed away. The knife was still on the counter. I grabbed it, heart racing. Then a soft knock, right at the bottom of the door, like knuckles dragging along the wood. It stopped, and then scratching, not on the ceiling this time, from inside my apartment. I turned around slowly. The sound was coming from the bathroom, from the vent above the mirror. I stepped toward it, knife shaking in my hand, and then a whisper, "Clear, too clear. You opened it." My knees buckled. I hit the floor. The whisper didn't come again, but I swear I saw fingers, thin, gray, gripping the inside of the vent. I ran, didn't lock the door, didn't look back. I bolted out the front, down 6 flights of stairs, barefoot, backpack slamming against my spine. I stayed at Lucas's that night, and the next, but on the 3rd night I got a message from an unknown number. No text, just a photo of my bathroom mirror with a handprint on it. Fresh. Wet. Facing inward. Lucas offered to go with me to grab the rest of my stuff. Said we could do it during the day, when it'd feel safer. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't step into that hallway again. That building felt infected. A few weeks passed. I crashed with Lucas. then found a cheap room closer to campus. My body started to come back to life, appetite, sleep, even laughter. But my mind, it stayed in that apartment. The vent, the pacing, the handprint, and always that one sentence echoing in my head. You opened it. I didn't even know what I had opened. A door, a curiosity, a line between things that should never touch. One afternoon, I ran into Miss Elvira, not in the building, outside a bakery a few blocks away. She looked thinner, like the smoke had hollowed her out even more. She recognized me immediately. "You left," she said, lighting a cigarette with a flick that shook just slightly. "Yeah, I had to." She didn't answer for a moment, then said, "That place isn't meant for new people." "What is that apartment?" I asked. 702. "Who the hell lives there?" She blew out a slow stream of smoke. "No one lives there," she said. "They stay there. That's different." I stared at her. She didn't answer, just looked past me, her eyes fixed on something over my shoulder. I turned. Across the street, a man was standing under a tree, too still. His face was blurry somehow, like my eyes couldn't focus on it. When I looked back to Elvira, she was gone. I never saw her again. 2 months later, I got a letter from the building. Not a bill, not a notice, just an envelope. No return address. Inside was a key, old, rusted. A tag on it that read 702. That night, I had a dream. I was in that hallway again. The one from before, long. Windowless, no doors. Except this time, at the end of it there was a door. It was slightly open, and inside, I heard voices. Not whispers, laughter, like they were waiting for me. I burned the key the next morning. Or I thought I did, because today, right before I sat down to write this, I found it again. On my pillow, still warm, still marked 702. That's the end of the story. Or maybe the beginning of something worse.